Everyone in the gallery thought she didn't belong there. Some even whispered that she must be lost. But 10 seconds later, the entire room fell silent, because the will they waited for didn't mention any of their names. It mentioned hers, and hers alone. Stay with us, and don't forget to subscribe to Black Inside 2.0 for more powerful real-life inspired stories. The art gallery was silent except for the soft hum of classical music playing from hidden speakers. Crystal lights reflected off polished floors, casting warm highlights across portraits older than the building itself. Every corner of the room exhaled wealth, history, and quiet expectation. But none of it compared to the tension. In the center of this tension stood Ariana Lewis, a young woman in a fitted red dress, hands gently holding a black handbag. Her expression was calm, but her heartbeat whispered a different truth, fast, heavy, almost too loud for her chest. She had been invited here for a will reading, but no one else believed she belonged. Across the room, groups of elegantly dressed guests murmured among themselves, their eyes flicking to Ariana with confusion, and for some, thinly veiled annoyance. She must be from the foundation, someone whispered. No, maybe she's a new assistant. But why would she be invited to the will reading? Ariana heard none of it clearly, but she felt the energy. Invisible, yet sharp, soft, but heavy, she didn't shrink. Not today. 1 week earlier, Ariana was shelving books at the small downtown library where she worked part-time. She loved the quiet, the smell of pages, the way stories filled the space even when no one was speaking. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Hello, Miss Ariana Lewis. The voice was firm, professional. Yes, speaking. This is attorney Michael Grant. I represent the estate of Mr. Howard Whitford. Ariana froze. She had only met Mr. Whitford once, briefly, at the Community Art Center years ago. He had spoken to her kindly, complimenting her sketchbook, telling her to never stop creating. Is everything okay? She asked softly. I'm calling to inform you that you are required at his will reading next Tuesday afternoon. A formal letter will be delivered to your address. Her breath caught. Required, but why? That will be explained at the reading, the attorney replied. Now, standing inside the grand hall with oil paintings worth more than her annual salary, Ariana felt every stare like a small tap on her shoulder. She straightened her back. Mr. Whitford had asked her to be here. That had to mean something. Across the room, attorney Michael Grant approached, tall, composed, dressed sharply. He carried a leather folder, the kind that always looked like it held secrets. Miss Lewis, he greeted warmly. Thank you for coming. You're welcome, she replied. I still don't understand why I'm here, but thank you for guiding me. You will understand soon. Behind him, members of the Whitford family exchanged glances. There were 4 of them. Siblings, cousins, spouses, all in suits and polished shoes. They looked like a family expecting crowns, keys, and entire kingdoms. Ariana felt tiny next to them, but she stood anyway. A hush fell over the room as the attorney cleared his throat. Thank you all for attending, Attorney Grant announced. The guests formed a semicircle around the central table. This will covers the final wishes of Mr. Howard Whitford, philanthropist, collector, and patron of the arts. Some guests nodded proudly. This was their moment. Ariana could practically feel their anticipation. Names ready to be called, inheritances ready to be claimed. The attorney opened the folder. Before distributing the estate, Mr. Whitford asked me to read a personal statement. People leaned forward. He writes, if you are hearing this, it means my time here has passed. I spent years supporting art, culture, and youth, because I believed in the next generation, especially those who create with heart, not privilege. There is one person among you who carries that spark. Ariana's breath paused. The others looked around, searching for which cousin that might be. Attorney Grant continued, years ago, I met a young woman sketching quietly in a corner of the City Art Center. She had no expensive supplies, no teachers, no recognition, just pure talent and humility. That moment stayed with me more than any painting in my gallery. People murmured now, confused. Ariana felt the room tilt. This was about her. It had to be. The attorney looked up, eyes meeting hers briefly before reading on. I watched her grow from afar, impressed by her dedication. I chose to support her anonymously through small grants she never knew were from me. Her creativity reminded me of why I began collecting art in the first place. Now the murmurs turned into full bewilderment. Someone whispered sharply, who is he talking about? Ariana's hands trembled. Attorney Grant closed the statement slowly. What does this mean? A man in a navy suit demanded. Another spoke bluntly. Are we supposed to guess who he chose? The attorney raised a hand. No guessing needed. He turned a page and read, to Ariana Lewis, I leave my entire personal collection, my gallery and all its assets. The room froze. Every head turned toward her at once. Ariana, who? There must be a mistake. She barely knew him. This can't be right. Is this a joke? Ariana stood still, her pulse pounding in her ears. Attorney Grant continued firmly. Mr. Whitford was very clear. Everything belonging to his personal estate is transferred to Miss Lewis. Effective immediately, emotions erupted. A woman stepped forward, eyes wide. There must be an error. We're his family. He chose her. Another snapped. Why? The attorney replied calmly. This is his signed and verified will. Ariana heard a mix of disbelief and frustration swirling around her. She didn't know whether to apologize, cry, or run. Instead, she whispered, I don't understand. Attorney Grant offered her a gentle, reassuring smile. You don't need to understand today. You only need to accept that he believed in you. Someone from behind muttered, this is unbelievable. Another added, she's just. Ariana turned slightly. She didn't say anything, but her eyes said everything. She belonged here, whether they liked it or not. The attorney motioned for everyone to settle. There is more. The room stiffened again. The next part of the will read, Ariana, if you are hearing this, know that I chose you not for wealth, not for bloodline, but for heart. I saw the courage in your work, the sincerity in your expression, and the resilience in your life. You may feel unprepared, but trust me, you are ready. Tears filled Ariana's eyes. She remembered the day Mr. Whitford approached her years ago. She had been sketching a portrait of a mother reading to her son. He said only one sentence to her. Never let the world convince you that you belong in the background. Now she understood. Attorney Grant closed the will. Everyone stared at Ariana, waiting, curious, confused, some still resisting the reality. He turned to her. Miss Lewis, there is one final instruction. Mr. Whitford asked that once you receive his estate, you decide how to use it. He trusted your principles. The choice is yours. The entire gallery fell into a deeper silence. Ariana inhaled slowly. She looked around at the paintings, sculptures, and moments captured over decades. She felt the weight of it, but not as a burden, more like a calling. She spoke softly but clearly. If Mr. Whitford believed I could carry his legacy, then I will try. I want this gallery to continue supporting young artists who feel unseen, like I once felt. The tension in the room shifted. Not completely, not instantly, but enough. Some members of the family softened, realizing that maybe, just maybe, this was exactly what Mr. Whitford intended. As the event concluded, the guests drifted away, some still processing, some accepting. Ariana remained still for a moment, absorbing everything. Attorney Grant approached once more. Miss Lewis, he said gently, you handled this with grace. Howard was right about you. She smiled, small but real. Thank you, she whispered. I hope I make him proud. You already have, the attorney replied. She looked at the gallery one last time, the polished floors, the paintings, the history. But now, it wasn't just history. It was hers. The doors opened, letting in a warm breeze as Ariana stepped forward into a future she never imagined. A future she suddenly felt ready for. A future she rightfully inherited.